What's going on, everybody? It's SidWolf94, and I'm finally going to be able to show you guys a deck profile with Shiny Rayquaza, this Pokemon. I wanted to make a deck with this guy uh, first time I saw him, since he's, modeled after the original Rayquaza EX in EX Dragon, and more closely modeled after the Rayquaza from Dragon's Exalted that I've used so much, that I use all the time in most of my decks, Ray Eels, Ray Boar, my decks, you guys know. So of course I wanted to use this guy. So I got this card. A viewer actually sent me a trade with these cards, a full playset, Restless Thought. So thank you, man. I'm finally gonna show the deck, like I've said. So thank you for sending me the cards. And I've tested the deck. I've tried different things. So we're gonna find out how good it is in the games. But first, I'm gonna show the deck. So as you guys can see, you guys see there's Magnezone here. This deck is going to be like Rayzone, but instead of Raikou, we're going to focus on Shiny Rayquaza. It's mostly going to be like Raybor with a lightning twist. We're going to take advantage of lightning Pokemon, I guess, as techs, besides other fire attackers like Reshiram and shit. So after toying with this card, Shiny Rayquaza, I've learned a bunch of things. I knew that it has sort of benefits, sort of advantages over Rayquaza EX, and it has drawbacks too. And honestly, I've been in situations in a game where I'm wishing, man, I wish this guy was a regular Rayquaza EX now, or other times where, wow, I'm glad you're a shining Rayquaza and not a Rayquaza EX. So this is a basic Pokemon, 120 HP. So for only 50 HP given two more prizes, Rayquaza EX sometimes can be not that great. You'd rather give one prize maybe and have 50 less HP. But that's only if you manage to survive. If you're going to get knocked out in one hit, then it doesn't make much of a difference. And sometimes, even with 3 Pokemon, I have 3 shiny Rayquazas here, as you guys can see, you will lose maybe your attacker, so you have to be careful. And other times, yeah, I'm just glad it's Shining Rayquaza because it has certain benefits. Like for example, with Sky Judgment, you do 190 and you discard 3 energies. So Rayquaza EX, the Dragon's Exalted one, if it discards 3 energies, it's going to do 180. And also you're limited to, you have to discard either 3 lightning or 3 fire if you want to do 180, let's say. This Pokemon you can discard any 3. So sometimes, when I have an extra fire energy, I might even like discard a fire energy and 2 lightning and just leave another fire energy on. So it has these sort of interactions and sort of advantages that you don't really maybe see immediately unless you play and test with the card in actual games. So he's pretty good. At the same time though, with 190 HP, with a not 190 attack and limited to that, you don't really have the flexibility to knock out Pokemon that are bigger than that. Rayquaza EX, one big advantage it has is that we can just put a 4th energy, do 240, and knock out other Pokemon, a bigger Pokemon GX and shit. So that's one of the things. We can put a choice ban in on this dude, and there's other things we can do, but that's just one of the downsides. The Dragon Pulse attack is the same attack from the other basic Rayquaza from Dragon Vault, and the secret rare from Dragon's Exalted is not that great, but I guess it's there. It's weak to Fairy too, that can be something, but yeah. So I'm running 3 of this guy. 4 might not be bad, but sometimes you do want a 4th one, but sometimes it just is overkill. You don't need that many. So I'm thinking 3 is still the good number. It's still the right number. Right. So the other attacker, we have Zapdos here. I did have Raikou in here too, but I decided to just, no, maybe I didn't have him in the first place because in this deck, we're going to be using fire energies too. So, instead of having maybe 2 of this guy and another Raikou, 3 Shiny Rayquaza, the focus is going to be Shiny Rayquaza, and just the Zapdos. I guess since it can do 120 for 3, and you know, we don't have to worry about doing less damage if we have a fire energy on. Maybe, you know, has a fighting resistance handy, 120 HP, still a solid Pokemon. So that's my, I guess, other attacker. If we're gonna go up against lightning weak Pokemon, this Pokemon should get us one-hit knockouts on those Pokemon, doing 240. It should be good enough. It can attack early with Drill Peck too, and that can be nice as well. Kind of set up for maybe easier KOs on otherwise Pokemon that Rayquaza just can't get a one-hit knockout. Maybe that 20 it's going to do in the beginning is going to matter. So these are basically all the attackers. It's basically all you need. And maybe you're going to recycle with a Rescue Stretcher. We do have this option I'm going to talk about. The other stuff is just standard stuff. You got to run your Tapu Lele for consistency. This Pokemon can also attack. My Mime is in here too, as always. Hello, Mime. And the Magnezone line is basically the same. 3 Magnezones from Breakthrough, 1 Magneton as our Stage 1 guy that we can use, and 4 Magnemites. With the Sparkle and Induction, we get Free Retreat too. Not bad. Now, of course, when the Ultra Force cards come out, there's going to be another Magnezone that's basically the metal one from Ultra Prism, but it's going to be for Lightning. We're going to get another Lightning Magnezone. It might replace this dude because it has more HP and a much better attack. But yeah, that's basically it. Alright, so the main thing of the deck is going to be the trainers. This is the important stuff, the important part that I tweaked a lot. As you guys can see, we got 35. We're going to need a lot in this deck. A lot of extra shit that, you know, Rayzone, Kindra, and maybe other kind of decks with Magnezone maybe don't need. But in this case, we are going to discard a lot of energies with Sky Judgment. So I really have no choice. I have to go full on out and add 4 energy retrievals here. There is no superior energy retrieval since this is a deck for standard. So we have to use what we got. So 4 energy retrieval. In the past, I did use like a Rainbow deck with 4 energy retrievals when I didn't have superior energy retrieval, and I kind of got away with it a bit. Sometimes this card is really good, it's better than superior energy retrieval, but at the same time, a lot of the time superior energy retrieval is better. If I did have superior energy retrieval available in standard, I probably would run 2 at least, but yeah, for now, it's going to be these. Our other way of getting energies is going to be 1 Fisherman. This guy is pretty good. He's basically a supporter, superior energy retrieval. It's going to grab us straight up 4 from the discard pile with no cost. So he's pretty good. I like the fact that I can possibly search this dude with Tapu Lele. That's a pretty good thing. It's something that you can't really do with the superior energy retrieval or energy retrievals. So that's a nice little thing. Maybe running more Tapu Leles and running more of this guy can be a viable option, but you know, I don't have the card, so I can't really test. I only have 1 of these, and I like running 1 anyway. But this is a pretty good card. So these are our only ways to recycle the energies, and I'm already running 3 fire and 8 lightning. That's the same that I'm running in Raybor. From years of testing, I think that is the best number. It is the best number because I've tried having 12 and it makes your deck inconsistent. That extra energy could have been another supporter that you're going to need at a time, or maybe this way you've got a higher chance of discarding a lot. I think like this is the best, and we are going to aim to search them with Professor's Letters as well. I'm looking forward to Lady, not Lady Outing, but there's going to be a new Lady card in the Forbidden Light set. I've made a review. You guys can check it out. It's going to be really interesting as well. It acts like a double Professor's Letter, but so far we have this. It's pretty good. 2 copies. I wish I could run 3, but it's tough, man. We have to get rid of something else. And every card in here has a purpose. There's no like filler cards. Okay, so these are for the energies. For consistency searching and shit, I do run the one nest ball here. Uh, Normally I would run two, but in this case, Shiny Rayquaza has a big ass 3 retreat cost, so we can use Heavy Ball to grab him too if we need to. We're probably gonna want to grab him anyway. If we want to grab a basic Pokemon that's not like Magnemite and shit. And the 2 Heavy Ball actually makes my deck more consistent in the sense that I can probably see Magnezone quicker. Such as this guy. Pretty important, we have to get him out quick. Okay, so far, 2 Heavy Ball, 1 Nest Ball is nice. Especially when one of them is prized and shit. Things of that nature. And I always have the 1 Ultra Ball anyway. This card is for Tapu Lele. It's gonna grab as this card. When we get the new fucking mystery amulet, whatever it's called, I don't know, maybe I might even run that to grab Tapu Lele, but this is actually very good. It can grab as anything. Ultra Ball is just so flexible, man. So yeah, probably Ultra Ball is gonna stick even after Forbidden Light. Man, I'm talking about Forbidden Light, but anyway. Tapu Lele, Searcher, and searches anything else in general. That's it. So we gotta have our 4 rare candies, of course. Get my guy out quick as fuck. And got the recovery options. Only 1 stretcher. I could have run Super Rod, but I'm trying to go turbo with this deck. I'm trying to just not get into the position where I have to use Super Rod. There's been situations where if I had Super Rod, I probably would have won. It would have saved me maybe, give me a chance back in the game. But there's no space. There's really no space for slow cards like that. It's just, I mean, I need to have recovery, energy recovery for the hand, honestly. And Stretcher, if we need to shuffle Pokemon, I guess we can use that too back in the deck. But more than likely, you're going to use this to grab an extra Shiny Rayquaza. Maybe if you got to use Zapdos again, or Magnezone, basically. Tapu Lele if we need a supporter, something like that. Yeah, so 1 Stretcher is good. I don't think there are any other recovery cards in this deck. Yeah, it's only Stretcher. I have my switching cards, 1 Switch and 1 Floatstone as always. Retreating can't be a bitch sometimes with this deck. You kind of have to be careful. Sometimes even these 2 cards aren't enough, so I don't know how other people get by without running them. Honestly, some decks, some people don't run these switching cards at all. Any switching cards. But anyway, so for the extra damage, we need to do more damage with Shiny Rayquaza because 190 just isn't going to do it sometimes. A lot of the times actually with these big GX Pokemon. So Choice Band is the natural solution. It's going to boost its damage up to 220. It usually is enough to get the job on the Gallipods and the other dudes like Zoroarks and shit. But I also run this thing. This can help too. Devoured Field. This stadium is going to give us 10 more. So with this and a choice band, we can be up to 200 and let me think, 230. Yeah, 230. So with this, I guess we have a chance to knock out Gardevoir too. Right. There is no Kukui in this deck. I guess with that dude, maybe you have the chance of doing 250, but that is just too situational. And that card is just, it's too slow for this deck. I did have it, and I think I took it out. You won't see it in this version. We have other supporters that I'm going to talk about now. But yeah, the choice bands and the devoured fields, they help. I mean, I don't really like to have this card because it can be dead a lot of the times. A lot of the times maybe you don't need it, or you're hoping to draw a supporter and you draw this. In other decks like Ray Eels and Ray Wars, the stadiums over there give more of a significant purpose than extra damage. But like I said, since we don't have a way to add more damage ourselves with Rayquaza, we gotta use these add-ons. So 2 of this is enough. 1 might be too little, and you might as well just maybe not run it, but I don't know, maybe you can try 1. But yeah, and the only thing that's left is the supporters. I do run The 3 Sycamores is standard. Maybe you can go 4, but it might be too much. 3 is just good. Hopefully you use it at the right time. You get it at the right time. Skylight, 2 of this is very important as well in a deck like this when we want to get rare candies and other important stuff like the energy retrievals and shit, for sure. And I run 2 Ns and 2 Cynthias. Drawing a lot of cards is important, and I found out in games, late game, when I'm getting prizes and I'm going and I'm close to winning, I kind of forced to use N. I don't have another supporter, and it doesn't get me shit, of course. So 2 of this and 2 Cynthia, I think is a great balance. It's just great. And then the last card is Lily. Okay. So this card was basically Bridget, but I took out Bridget for this card because Bridget is good. In the beginning, it's going to grab us 3 basic Pokemon, grab us the Magnemites instantly, and help me set up. Is good consistency at the beginning, but the thing is that card is that it always grabs you 3 cards. It is always going to grab you 3 cards, so that's like you're thinning the deck by 3 cards, and that's not good enough for me. This might make absolute jack shit sense for you guys, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. With Lily, I have the potential with the Ultra Ball, and if I have this when I don't have a lot of cards in hand, like when I'm out of resources, when I'm top decking, when in situations that I've been where I wish I had another good supporter, this card will save you. First turn, we can do some combos with this card too, with Ultra Ball and shit. It's just a much better card that can net you more cards, give you the opportunity to draw more than 3 cards. And we can kind of risk and use this to just draw the Magnemites this way. I don't know if this makes sense. In Expanded, in Raybor, and in my Ray Ills deck, I didn't run Bridget, and I usually get by fine grabbing, a Magnemite or 2. So it just works out. Bridget is just too slow for this deck, especially when I need so many resources. So Lily's gonna have to do for now. Maybe when we get the Lady from Forbidden Light, it might replace it with Lady. But for now, Lily, she does a great job. She's just pretty flexible. It's nice to have a supporter that doesn't shuffle to draw, or you don't have to discard everything to draw. She's just straight draw as long as you have 6 or 8 on the first turn. Very, very good. So this is basically the deck. I think, yeah, 2 of this, you gotta have it. Field Blower for Garbodor. Get rid of other annoying shits. Great card. So this is basically the deck. This is the most concise, the best list from testing that I did that I've managed to build, at least with the cards I have. I don't think I would change it. It's kind of ugly, to be honest, because you have to run things like Devoured Field. I wish I didn't have to run this, but he probably needs it. He needs it for that extra damage. The 3 choice bands, sometimes they don't do it. Yeah. Especially if my opponent, more dangerously, if they play Fury Belt, because that is still around on a basic Pokemon, like they put something like that on Buzzwole or another 190 HP basic Pokemon, this is why you need this, because then Choice Band becomes absolutely useless, and it's like you have 3 cards for no reason. This is like you have 5 cards that aren't consistent, but you can get the job done with this at least. I don't know if that makes sense. You're going to get the 1-hit knockout, which is the important thing. So this is the deck, guys. I'm going to upload games, of course, and I've talked about the energies. I think they're right the way they are. Our energy retrievals and energy recovery, right the way they are. 3 of this guy, I think is the right number, but you can try 4 if you like. Maybe get rid of the Mime. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Thank you again to Restless Thoughts for giving me a playset of this guy and actually sending me other cards too, making me feel bad. I send him some cards too, but I don't think he needs them. So thank you again. I'm gonna post games too. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. Saber 94, what's up?